Welcome to the Robes Away channel. Name's Mark. If you're a returnee, merci beaucoup. Welcome back to the new noses on the channel. Welcome to the Robes Away channel. Hopefully you stick a while and subscribe. Today's test drive is on the house of Gallagher fragrances, and the fragrance here is called Ofraiche. Now, I unboxed this one back in 2019. I finally took the time this week now to wear it a bit and give you all my thoughts on this one. And you know me, always late. Gallagher is a brand that isn't scared to send me scents, and they have sent me this one. I didn't purchase it, but they do send me scents to sniff out, which I have to respect because they are the very few. I can't even think of another brand that actually sends me things because I respect that, and that's because I don't script. I'm not going to, you're not going to tell me what to say on my YouTube channel. So Gallagher Fragrances, love the guy. He just sends me the packages and no warning. They just show up. I believe this one is discontinued, so me being late to the party. So it'll be a little harder to find if you're interested after this video, but if you frequent our Facebook groups, fragrance Facebook groups, or eBay and stuff like that, you may find something like this. I may be wrong, but I believe this thing is discontinued. Now let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on this one before I start sniffing it out and let you know what I think about it. Release date was back in 2019. The Parfumier, of course, the nose, the brand founder, Daniel Gallagher. The major notes to my nose, the notes are here: black currant, Concord grapes, dried tobacco leaves, sandalwood, orris butter, and ambergris. So that's a very solid note breakdown. For me, black currant is the first one listed, and it is fairly high on the list. And Concord grapes, black currant does this, but I'll let you know later in the review. Vetiver is my secondary note, not listed. Interesting. But vetiver is heavy on vetiver. Maybe it wasn't a sexy note to put on here, but vetiver aplenty, and tobacco is another note here that I get a lot of. So let's get to sniffing. Now, when I first received Ofraiche, with a name like Ofraiche, you're thinking very transparent, very much a light fragrance. It's just what I felt in my mind what a fragrance called Ofraiche would be. It'd be a fresh fragrance, of course. And looking at the note breakdown, I'm not seeing anything that's very big and bold, maybe tobacco, orris butter maybe, but other than that, very thin fragrance notes. So I am wearing it today, and I'm going to give you my thoughts, of course, several days of wearing, but I'm going to remind myself of the introduction on this one. And Ofraiche, honestly, is very unique in the opening. I actually really enjoy this opening when I was testing it. The opening of Ofraiche gives you that imagery of Concord grapes, and you know, it's listed as a second note on the bottle here. Very purple in color to me, and that's because of the black currant. The black currant in here is very much the primary note in this opening. Bergamot aids it, so there's a bergamot note here that actually aids the black currant, giving it a sparkling manner. So the purple hue here, very interesting, very well done, neat trick, well orchestrated by the nose. I absolutely love it. I've smelt a few black currant fragrances in my journey. We obviously Enchanted Forest as the primary, as the best in class. Enchanted Forest is outstanding as a black currant fragrance. I've never smelt anything like it. This right here is very, I wouldn't say very different, both very purple, but this one has that, it gives a different imagery than Enchanted Forest. It goes grape. It goes very much like the purple hue, but very much a grape-like appeal. It truly shows me the freshness from its namesake, like Ofraiche. Yeah, I get it now in the opening. It's very fresh. The black currant punch in the opening is very realistic. And my experience with the note, this note never gave me a grape vibe. It gave me a berry vibe. And again, very purple as a note, but Daniel really made black currant smell grapey. Very grapey, and I think it's maybe the melange of the notes that are in here that really changes the black currant, and I applaud that. It's really well done. Now, Enchanted Forest had everything from, almost the green aspect to, there's a woody aspect, there's a green aspect with the blackcurrant, and the blackcurrant was central. Here, there's green aspects too. It's very same, but very different, The blackcurrant's very different. There's some green aspects here, and there's some woody aspects in here, but very different. So there's some soft woods backing this fragrance. That's from the sandalwood. Also some soft tobacco tones here as well. Those get stronger the more it's on your skin. Once that initial hit mellows, now, I'm starting to smell it now, there's some green aspects to this release, mostly from the vetiver. The vetiver itself, the more it's going to blossom on your skin, the longer this fragrance is on your skin, the more it's going to go into more of a strong secondary note, and it is going to give you many facets of the note. The stronger the vetiver gets, the more rooty it gets, the more herbal it gets, and with the tobacco nuances, and there's some minor patchouli touches here blended with the blackcurrant, it brings me to an orchard of grapes. That's basically all I'm thinking about. Is I'm in the country here. There's grapes all over, very much farming. You get the earth, you get the roots, you get the woods. Of course, you get the grape, the fruit. You almost even get like a tomato leaf accord here too, just reminding me of a greenhouse vibe in a way. Green, leafy, potting soil. That's where I'm going with it, and a lot of that is to the overload of vetiver. I don't know if he overdosed on vetiver on this thing, but lots of it, and it is very well done actually, the vetiver. I love it in this one. So into the dry down, the vetiver takes a much bigger role here, and it is now your central theme. You lose that purple hue, not lose the whole thing, but the vetiver takes over. The purple hue was the wow factor in this release, to be quite honest. So it is kind of disappointing to my nose that I kind of lose that, but it's come to be expected. So the scent starts getting much drier. It's getting much darker at this point and loses that ofraiche namesake. It really starts, it's not a winter fragrance by no means, but it definitely turns more into a spring fall scent than anything, because it does have some oomph to the backbone of this release. You start getting some musks to pair with the vetiver, the sandalwood, the tobacco backbone. There's some minor smoke in this dry down that you get hints of it a little bit here and there, but not too much, and it works well with the rooty green vetiver. And I felt a little bit of nutty nuances towards the end of this release. So at the end of the day, it really is a fresher take up top and then darkens in the back end of this fragrance. Very vetiver heavy to my nose and blackcurrant heavy. I think those are the two central themes in this release. Very well done by Daniel. So now let's get into Seasons, Day, Night, Versatility, and Performance. Seasons, again, like I said, it was not as thin as I thought of, especially looking at the notes and the name, the background here. And again, looking at these notes here, orris butter and ambre gris, I didn't get much of those. More sandalwood, tobacco leaves, and the blackcurrant in at the named ones here. So it wasn't as thin as I thought it was going to be. It's very much a tweener, what I like to call, that you can wear like summer nights, things like that. Day or night, I feel like this is more of a daily wear, but you can wear it at night. Again, summer nights, but like spring day, fall day, that's the type of fragrance I would be wearing for me. Versatility is fairly average on this one. No real spectrum of its, you can wear it almost all the time, to not at all. It's too daring. It's right in the middle cusp of versatility. Performance. The performance on this, not beastly. You're getting longevity, 5 to 7 hours, which is decent. Projection was average. So the performance on it, yeah, you can find some better performers out there, especially if you're looking for a vetiver-based fragrance, we'll say, because there's boatloads of it in here. Blackcurrant, there's not too many out there, blackcurrant fragrances, so that might be the appeal here with Gallagher fragrances and this one, that you may want to get this one. So my final thoughts before closing the book on this one, before a full-fledged review. Ofraiche it gave me a really interesting opening, but does kind of fall flat in the back end, giving me mostly a vetiver backdrop. It's good, but it isn't great. And as much as I love the purple hue, I think Enchanted Forest definitely trumps this. It just gives me a better imagery for me. However, the grape accord here was a really neat trick. It was really interesting and unique here, and that's why I'm happy I have a bottle of this. This fragrance is more green than purple of a scent, especially once the vetiver takes over. It'll be an excellent tweener for spring and fall, but if you own many vetiver-based scents, and you already own Enchanted Forest, I don't think this one will do anything for you. It's nothing new in the genre, to be quite honest. Now, I know that Daniel was trying to do a fresh tobacco scent here, and what we ended up with, at least to my nose, is more of a vetiver-based scent with some unique characteristics to it. The scent isn't that fresh, honestly. The opening is super bright because of the bergamot sparkle, which was a neat trick with of course, the black currant. But after that, it's more of a spring and fall scent with some earthy, rooty green aspects to it. I'm getting the greenhouse tomato leaf. There's some nice sandalwood here to smooth it out a little bit. Overall, it's a good scent, but isn't a standout for me for those reasons. Now, I'm done with the ofraiche. Time for you to hit us up in the comments below. What do you think of it? Have you smelt this fragrance? I'd love to see those comments and see, your different thoughts on this release. However, if you own this and you've never heard of Enchanted Forest by Vagabond Prince, definitely check it out. Probably harder to find than this one, but it is a standout. If you like that purple hue. If you like the vetiver in here, the world's your oyster. Just type in vetiver at Fragrantica and you'll find a million fragrances based on that. So at the end of the day, a great import fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.